All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. PITW, meaning peace in the wilderness with AHAYAH. Peace in the wilderness with AHAYAH. Today is time to talk about the final questions. Um, when I got into this idea of coming on this evening live, I had no idea that he was going to give me a full meal deal. Mm, 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 mm. I want to say something to you all that I said, but I'm gonna wait till we just wait a minute in case we have another or a couple of people come in, and if not, I still rumble because the Most High is so focused on that one. Mm, 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 that it is off the chain. That too falls in the category of spiritual spirit. Mm, 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 mm. We're going to tackle a lot of things this evening, and I'm going to let you take out this time to get you a pencil, a piece of paper, something to be able to write down pretty much the things I'm about to say. And I will say to you that these are like final questions. And he didn't let me go. He didn't let me go, you guys. I mean, he gave me one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. He continued to pour out in me information. Mm, 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 mm. And I'm learning. It shows you think you know something. But see, you really knew nothing. Because there's so much to know that has not been dispersed in this day and time. Because, like I say, so many voices in the land that's out here, so many people are speaking. That too lines up with the spiritual war. When he dropped that bombshell, it was to knock out any and everything that I have ever taught, spoke about, teach, spirit and truth, the light, the spiritual backpack. It's knocking it off the map. Why? Because what he has to say, it clams on on top of what Sister Deborah Ben said. It clams on top of it to where he's not going to clam on top of it again. You see, he's clamming on it right now. It started when it came to me to say, I'm putting him on the front line. Putting the Most High on the front line. There is something so rooted in me that front line means so much to me, but it's something about it that means something to the Most High Yah, because from that day on, he's been clambering on top of every and anything that I have ever spoke about. He didn't clammed on top of it. And guess what? Nothing is going to be able to clam on top of what he didn't clammed on top of. Because I'm at a standpoint where I'm like, okay, if you say one more thing, Father, I know I'm going to lose it. Because this is so good. It's so good to know the things. It's so good to feel them, to feel the things that he's standing on top of. But there is still yet a long suffering in it. It's still yet an endurance in it. Because this is the final, y'all. This is it. He had to tell me less than 40 minutes ago, do you understand why Yeshua came thousands of years later? And even in his words, he spoke of it being like the days of Noah, as it has been said. And the whole world would focus on the ark, Noah and his families, the animals, what size the ark was, everything people focus on. But the Father said the main thing they didn't focus on. Nobody had the ear to hear. So why is it important today to speak on that? It's because the way heavens has orchestrated it in the spirit realm, you are not to be able to know at all. Just like the days of Noah. It all matches together, you guys. Like a puzzle that's fully completed. Let's start with some things that's going to cover the whole idea of the final questions. Okay. He said to me that you have taught the people that there are two words. One is the word, and the other one is the words. One is a book, and one is Yah. So the book is words. And did not you teach them that I am the word? There go twos. But watch how he got on top of it. He said, now, did not you teach that? Many times. He said, now let me stand on top of it. So when I put him on the front line, that means he's going to pull up on me 24/24. Everything that I've ever been on this devil platform talking about, he's standing on top of it. He's standing on top of it. Finish question. So he say, you know you didn't taught that. And when you taught it, it was 100% true. Take him to the war. Take him to the war, the battle that's in the spirit. That's why you speaking of the twos. It's speaking of the battle, Deborah, in the flesh. And there's a battle that's unseen, that's in the spirit. So when you poured up teaching them and trying to break it down, that the words are not the word, it is the same as the battle in the spirit. It has to have its own word. And the word I had spoken to you all about, I said, this is the word right here, y'all. What you see, what you're reading. These are words. It can't be the word. And the Father say, to me today, you are 100 times 100. You know why it can't be the word? The word is unseen. It detached to faith that cannot be seen. But yet you must believe it. So when you're teaching them that the book is word, and it's a study guide to what? The flesh. And you have taught them that the word is who I am. And who am I? Spirit. When therefore, you even taught them in many ways that there was something going on behind the spiritual line. When you taught them that there were two books. It makes so much sense. He was telling me this again while I was washing dishes. You've been speaking it, Deborah, all the time and had no idea that how powerful what you were saying was in the war that's unseen. So when you talk to them about the words and the word, that's just like the flesh. We see Russia, we see China, we see a racial war, we see all kind of things, gang war. The father said, Deborah, that's a war in the flesh of the eyes. But the real war, Deborah, is in the spirit realm. While they're fighting in the flesh, where the eye of the flesh can see, they got a spirit that's also fighting. And they have no idea. It's the unseen war. So that's why the book, the Bible, they have lied about, tampered with, added, took away. They done did everything. And then come the war in the spirit. There is a war in the spirit. So the flesh got its study guide that can be tampered with 24/24, and it has. But the word stick to the spiritual war. It's connected to what you cannot see. So when you put me on the front line, I'm on there. I'm bringing to you the final questions. So if you happen to have a question, pull on up with it. And if you feel in your spirit you have the answer, pull it up. Come on with it. Because we need to be asking the final questions. Something's going on, you guys. Something is really going on. And it's not just the spiritual war, but the spiritual battle is showing up and showing out. It's finna allow the flesh to feel the battle in the spirit. I'm gonna tell y'all something else he said. I got it all wrote down. That's why I'm looking at it. He said, do you understand that which you used to say to them? You say it over and over. How many times have you said it? And I'm like, okay, what kind of trouble am I in now? He said, yeah. What do you be saying when you say, I'm in trouble? I'm in trouble. That's what the Father said to me in the water. He said, how many times have you said that? And I said, many times. He said, do you understand when you said that? You were speaking of the trouble in the spirit because you was telling the flesh something out of the spirit realm. When I put him by mouth, y'all, not by spirit, because it wasn't my spirit put him where he already is at. But by mouth, I proclaim that he's on the front line. He said, I'm on there, all right. Take heed. How many times have you said it? I said, I can't even count the times, but yeah, I have said that. I'm in trouble. He said, every time you said that, you didn't understand. When you said in trouble, is when you said something in the spirit realm and you was giving it to them in the natural. That's why you used it as you being in trouble. Because in your spirit, you knew you were saying something in the spiritual realm to someone in the flesh realm. And that's why you claimed it to be, I'm in trouble. Y'all, it's on me, y'all. He's on me. He is on me. And when he said that, let me tell y'all what else he said to me today. He said, do you understand what you says? See, we're thinking that we're going to get away with what we said and what we are saying. You ain't getting away with nothing. The Father checked me again. He said, you know what you said? You always say, and you didn't say it in time past, but you say it quite some time lately. Y'all looking at me cockeyed. The Father is checking me. He said, you says that. Why y'all looking at me cockeyed? Cockeyed is you're looking at me crooked because of what I'm saying. The Father is telling me where I got that from is from the spiritual realm. Because he said, in me knew that they couldn't see straight. So you pour out of the spirit realm that they looking at you cockeyed. That's to separate looking at you straight from looking at you cockeyed. Yeah, but that comes from the spiritual realm. And I'm like, you mean these words that I'm using? Yes. It's who you are in the spirit, trying to speak to many in the flesh. And not even you know the power in what you are actually saying. And he's checking me. But guess what? I put him on the front line. So I mean that. He ain't going nowhere. He already there. Praise the mighty Yah. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go there, y'all. We're going to go so far. Have your pencil and your piece of paper ready. Where this come from? The spiritual realm, y'all. He said, do you understand what AI is? Do you know what AI? I said it's man-made, made up so that they could manipulate people and deceive people and have them doing things and knowing their business. The Father in heaven says it's deeper than deep. AI is deeper than deep. The AI is coming and is here to take 100% control of your AI body. That's it. So it's coming to control the flesh. And guess what he says? The battle will still remain in the spirit. Praise the mighty Yah. He said that there are so many people just preparing to use AI for their channel, for their lifestyle, to help them know this and help them know that. And this is what he said. He said, if you were to go to AI and you ask them about blood pressure medicine, is it good or is it bad? AI tell you. Why? Because it has that much power to tell you the truth. And it's not spiritual truth. It's fleshly truth. The question you asked was about blood pressure medicine. Not just saying blood pressure medicine. You can tell the name of the blood pressure medicine. And he said it would tell you. Why? It's so powerful that it don't even need to lie. Because the flesh don't care whether it's lied to or not. This is why the battle is in the spirit. And AI is here to battle you in the flesh. As long as they got the flesh in control and in belief, they'll never figure out. Ever, ever, ever. And Yah made it like that, and he sealed it in the kingdom, that they'll never know how to find the spiritual realm in which all things was created first and foremost under. That's why they battling everything on the earth and making it about any and everything. He said, if you take AI and you say, AI, this name, you write it, you tell them the name, how can it compare to my diabetes medicine? Will it harm me? AI gonna tell you, sure will. And I'm like, wait a minute, Father, wait a minute. You mean man didn't build something that's gonna tell they've been lying all this time? Yes. That's what the flesh do, Deborah. We're in that day. This world don't care about lies. It would make the lie the truth and the truth the lie. It does not care about lies. So if AI says, whatever your blood pressure medicine is, and if you have, just say, take vitamin D, you ask AI, will it disaffect my body? It'll tell you the truth. But will you stop? Nope. Nope. But when AI say, Deborah, rob that bank, there it is. I didn't rob that bank, but AI said I did. You see what I'm saying? You see, it's all in the flesh realm of where it works. It works for the battle and the war in the flesh. And behind, not behind, right in front of that war for the flesh is the war of the spirit. And we're here in this world participating happily with the worldly war in the flesh. And Yah's, those that are of the body of Hamashiach, that Yah is abiding in, we're the ones that's in the spirit realm. And guess what happened? Didn't I tell y'all? He gave me the spirit of long suffering, the gift of long suffering, the gift of endurance. Didn't I tell y'all that? That's why. Guess why, y'all? Because it ain't what you enduring on the earth. It's the spiritual realm. You're going to need these in the spiritual realm because the flesh is battling on this end. But the true war is in the spirit realm. All of it, you guys. And that's why he gave me the spiritual gifts. To be able to what? To endure what is going on in the natural. Because the natural think it's what they warring against. And there's no victory. You're not going to get out, you guys. You're not going to whether Donald Trump or Biden or whoever's in office, they're not going to make it better for you. Their whole idea is to vote to destroy you, you guys. They are not voting to bring your tail out of nothing. When have anybody did anything that brought your tail out of anything? Never. So what makes you think that which is in the flesh is going to deliver you from the things that you struggle with in the flesh and that you're going through in the flesh? No, it's going to make it worse for you. It's going to make it worse for you. All of it's going to be worse for you. It's not going to come to a place where everything going to start to get better for you. No, it's not. AI is ready to help your flesh believe whatever it says. At the same time, it's going to be used for what it was created for. and that is to destroy you. That's it. So if you think an AI coming to bring and make you sharp and make you this and make you that, you don't understand. There's no victory in the things that is on the earth, the things that is in the flesh, the war, the battle, what the world has to offer you. There's no victory in it. So you fighting a losing battle. You're fighting a losing battle. You can't win. Only way you win is when you have the spiritual creator in you. That's why, when he said, put on the whole armor, what did he tell your butt to do? Flesh, stand still. That's all you better do, flesh. Stand your tail still. This ain't your battle. Now, putting y'all on the front line where he has been has changed my life in the last 3 and 4 days a great deal, because he's brought me to the edge. I mean, really to the edge. Everything I think it now, y'all. Everything I feel it. By him being put on the front line, that means to me, he's all that and some. Ain't nobody on the front line with him but him alone. In my eye, that means your living, Deborah, it's going to be different. Your life that I breathe into you, it's going to be different. I'm going to show you what is going on the front line. That's when he pulled up and dropped the bombshell, y'all. After I made that video said I'm putting him on the front line, I made 2 of them. All of a sudden, he dropped this bombshell, explaining to me the whole overall of the spiritual battle that's going on 24/24, been going on a long time. Even when Adam and Eve was in the garden, that's began the spiritual battle. But he said, no, don't kind of back it up a little bit, Deborah, back it up. The kingdom had a spiritual battle going on. That's what he said. The kingdom had a spiritual battle going on. You see how we escaped the spiritual battle? It existed in the kingdom before it was on the earth. You see how we escape that in this day and time? We want to make it about these leaders, these pastors, these bishops, these priests, these evangelists, these prophets, these prophetess, these Maureen's, these seers and watchmen. They ain't telling you crap but what you're doing in the flesh. They have no spirit and truth, which is spiritual food that your spirit needs. Why? Because their teaching, their understanding can only rest in the flesh. They have no idea what is actually taking place, nor do they care. Because it don't matter, y'all. It don't matter. And I'm going to disappoint you. Because I'm about to tell you some things it's going to make you wonder. I hope you be able to go to sleep. Because the true fact is, we down here clowning. You remember when I said on many videos, they down here clowning. Buying circus tickets left and right. They ain't doing nothing but going to the circus and clowning. Because something in me already knew. And that's what he taught me as a young girl. What took place before the foundation of the world. What was that, Deborah? A spiritual battle. The spiritual battle was then created because there was a spiritual battle in the kingdom before it was on the earth. And that's what made him break everything down in twos, you guys. Remember, the heavens had the twos, the lake of fire, and the Lamb book of life, eternal heaven. There were the twos already created in the kingdom. So if it was created in the kingdom, how was it made up on the earth that people go in that direction? By the spirit that's in them. See, I have a spirit and you have a spirit. It dictates that spirit we have in us that holds the seed of eternal life or eternal death. That's what you see war. And this is why he said, put on the whole armor. Because while you're fighting the battle in the flesh, guess what? Your spirit is fighting the battle in the spirit. And have no idea. People don't understand why. Why can't I kick the habit? Why can't I stop doing this? Why can't I stop doing this? And that's because the battle that's in the spirit is greater than the battle of your flesh. Because the spirit is battling, which eternal shall I reside? Most of people's spirit already know damnation. It's already know that's its destiny. So it ain't going to be on the earth doing anything outside of wicked and evil. Same thing with Adam and Eve. They skipped everything that was created perfect. Everything that was floating with milk and honey. Everything was given to them. But they walked away from all of it and only went to death. Who does that? Who does that? Who would walk over to eternal death? Only he that is assigned from the kingdom for eternal death. So they didn't stand a chance, y'all. And we down here battling the fact, or was it Eve or was it Adam, or who took the apple and all. You see, that's flesh battling. That's flesh that's battling because it don't know nothing that's connected to the both of them in the spirit realm. It had no idea both of them was assigned to eternal death. That's why they quickly got down here. When they quickly were brought down here, zoom, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Why? Because they predestined for eternal death. So they went straight to it. You know that's where they was. Heaven had ordained them to go to the lake of fire. Why? Because all that he gave them was perfect, even themselves. Everything he gave Adam and Eve was perfect, even themselves. But what wasn't perfect? Their spirit being. And that spirit being led their flesh to go where it knew it was already assigned. Praise the mighty Yah. Going back, their destiny was already signed before the foundation of the world to eternal death. That's why they had, you got to understand, okay, let's use each and every last one of you. If you were created and Yah put everything down here, just give you something to think. He gave you, put everything down here for you, made you perfect. Perfect. No sin, no nothing. Why would you, and all that he gave him, why would you bypass all that to go right over here? Except, watch this here, y'all, watch this here. Except the war that was already in you was a spiritual war that you came down here with. So you can be on the side of the war of the lake of fire. That's why they came down. And instant. And you know what? You wouldn't get nobody in the world to question the fact. What will make them do that after having everything perfect, even themselves? What would make them? And what would make a creator put that darn tree down there for? Because he knew the war was from the kingdom, not from the earth. We are all down here, already assigned. Okay? Just like Adam and Eve, we're assigned to the tree of life, or we're assigned to the tree that's knowledge of good and evil, death. We're already assigned. You see what I mean when I said we down here clowning? We clowning for nothing. We already wrote in and wrote out, and the books has been sealed. It's going to be open when y'all come to the throne that time of judgment. So what is going on right now? People down on the earth in a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. And they trying to pretend they got it all together in the flesh. That's why you see so much chaos going on. Then y'all have the audacity. Everybody have the audacity to tell y'all, when earthquakes and wars and rumors of wars and famine and pestilence. Wait a minute, he coming for the flesh, baby. Those are things that's coming for the flesh. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? See, you don't know. You don't know, and you ain't gonna know. But you see how he doing it? When you look over here and say, hold up, what's going on? He said, okay, now earthquakes in diverse places, pestilence and famine and war, a nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Tell them who it's for, Deborah. It's for your flesh that's already cutting up in the spirit realm. You're going to relay what you're cutting up in the spirit realm. You're going to cut up in the flesh realm. That's why people can't beat the habits. Let's say, just use me. If I had a habit of drugs and I've been on it 20 years, I can't beat that habit if my spirit man is wicked and evil. If it's a sign to death, I'm not going to beat that habit in my flesh. Because what? The spirit is already on drugs. Your spirit being is already on drugs. So your flesh being can't beat the habit because your spirit man is already hooked on drugs. Its form of drug is wicked and evil. This is why you can't beat habits, addictions. Let's say, for instance, Sister Deb on drugs and decide, okay, I want to go to church. I want to be saved, and I want to do this. I want to do that. Wait a minute, baby. Hold up a minute. You want to be what? I want to be saved. I want to accept Yeshua HaMashiach. I want to do the will of the Father. I want to this. I want to be full of the Holy Spirit. I want to be all of that. But hold up. If the war in the spirit, you must be selected by the Most High Yah, born of the Spirit. That's the only way you're going to be able to fight the war in the Spirit is if you born of the Spirit. But see, when he said born of the Spirit, people look at your flesh. Oh, we all was born. No. The war is in the Spirit. It's speaking of your spirit. It's speaking of your spirit, not your flesh. It's saying, okay, Adam and Eve, we are born of the flesh. We're going to do the way of the flesh. And that's what they did. They didn't do the way of the spirit. Had they went and took the tree of life, that would have been the way of the spirit. Am I right? But what did they do? They took the way of the flesh that leads to what? Death. Why? Wasn't perfection in them? Hold up, Deborah. Wait a minute now. You're going a little bit too fast. Wasn't they perfect? No sin? Didn't they have everything? So how did they miss the eternal life? The road to eternal life. They didn't miss it on the earth. They missed it in the heaven. That's why y'all put that tree there. He knew their destiny. He just put it down to the earth so they can go straight to it in the flesh. There's a war that's unseen. That's what a true battle is. Where your flesh is where you are in your spirit. That's why we can't see right from wrong and wrong from right. That's why we choose the things of the world than the things that are of Yah. because the war is already in your spirit. It chose for you. Why did your spirit choose for you? Because your flesh has already got its predestined. That's to the grave. It's going back to the dirt. Whoa. So there is a spiritual war. Yes. But it ain't for the flesh. Flesh goes out, it goes straight to the dirt. Then what's going on? The spirit. Well, the war really is. It is assigned to eternal life or the lake of fire already. And if you conduct your flesh like unto who you already are in your spirit, that's your destiny right there. What's deep about it? Ooh-wee! Your spirit is already predestined to go and do exactly what Adam and Eve did. Straight to the tree. Let me read it. Listen to what it says, y'all. See, and that shows you how many years, let's say 7,000 years, probably more than that. This was said. This is what the Father was saying to me a couple of months ago. He said they get in that book and they study it, but they study it in the flesh. Because if they studied it in the spirit, they'll see that it's not what they think it and what they feel it and what they interpret it. Because the spirit will correct the errors and put it back to them right. But they don't want that way. Why? They think everything is the battle in the flesh. You think the wealth is in the flesh? Oh, you think the food is in the flesh? But the food is for the flesh. But there's another food for the spirit. See? So it's showing you when it all said and done, the battle rests in the spirit. You make that choice in your spirit. You don't make it. It's already made. Now watch this here. When I get to Genesis chapter 2, I hear something very powerful. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 16, and we're going to go down to 17. Now listen to this, y'all. And Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden, thou may freely take up, eat. Okay? Freely? Do y'all get the point I'm trying to show y'all? You mean you had all this here, Adam, and you took away from, you bypassed it all to go right here to this one. That's how people are today. They will bypass all the things that's being said in the spirit realm just to go into the broad gate and have a seat. And having a seat means that's where they remain. Why? Because that's where their spirit took them, where they're going to remain eternal. And watch this here. So when I get to Genesis 2 and I see 16, Yah said, commanded the man, saying, every tree of the garden thou may freely eat. You mean, Father, you mean it, Father. All this you said you created. You created everything. And you mean the one tree, and all that you said, you sit here telling them every tree you may take. Watch this here. Watch what the Father say to him. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat. Watch this here. Of it. If we eat it, then what's gonna happen then? If we take the tree that of knowledge of good and evil, what's gonna happen? Now watch this. You should not eat of it. For in the day that thou eat it thereof, thou shalt truly die. Do y'all know what that is? That's the eternal death. It's not the fleshly death. A lot of people would think that too. That's the way they would teach it and preach it and have for thousands of years. No. This is a different death, baby. Who turns down the tree of life for the tree of knowledge and good and evil and then still can have a chance to go to the tree of life? I don't think so. But they missed it. Like they missed the war of their own spirit is already destiny. So I used to hoop and holler a lot to everybody about, well, do y'all see all them killings? You don't see these men killing their wives, their children, their mother, they father, they kill them. Judah is killing up a storm. What's going? And I just got so fed up with it because y'all check me every time. He said, wait a minute, what's all that? He used to check me all the time. So now today, he stood on top of it. And guess what, y'all? I'm in a new walk now. A total new walk. I went to another level. So as he said to him, that you eat of thereof, thou shalt truly die. Nobody will preach and teach you that is the death of eternal. Why? Because if he didn't eat it, that was eternal life. Let me show you that again. He said, if you eat of it, you will surely die. But what if he didn't eat of it? Then he will surely live eternal. So that was a death to the lake of fire, y'all. That wasn't a death to eternal. That was the consequence of if you don't if you don't take of the tree of life, then you take of the tree of death. 46 years I haven't heard nobody preach that, Father, y'all. There go the twos. The twos started way back in the beginning. And when you pull up the two trees, there go the warning for eternal life in the kingdom, eternal lake of fire. Was those two trees, y'all. And they would never, ever, ever preach that and teach that. Why? It's okay. They don't have to. They don't need to. It doesn't matter in the flesh what they teach you all. That's why. See, truth is only found in spirit. Truth is not found in the flesh. Why do you think this sister was saying to y'all the light, spirit and truth, spiritual backpack? People not teaching spirit and truth. I don't know what's wrong with them. All that time. I told you all, I wasn't skipping a beat. Now, I wasn't on top of it like y'all on top of me now. But I tell you, I was close, and I thank him, and I appreciate him. And I'm grateful he let me get as close as he know he wanted me to be. Until he come to me in this day, in this hour, and he give it to me where I need it. So as you see Adam and Eve, that was the shot right there. Eternal life and or the eternal lake of fire. Now let's go back. Why would they have everything perfect from Yah? Everything, gold, silver, everything. Now, I don't know about silver, but rubies, all kind of stuff. All food, everything they had. But why would you come down here having all that and go to that tree? The war, y'all, is not what you see in your natural eyes. It was what behind. So Adam and Eve had behind them eternal lake of fire. To the point where he said, okay, Deborah, they didn't get it. They didn't get it. What do I tell you? Went over your head. When I used to say go over your head, 99.9 didn't even understand what I was saying. That was still missing it in the spirit realm. So it's going over your head because in your flesh, you can't grip it. So it's just going over your head. You're missing it in the spirit realm, is what I'm saying. And what I've been saying. So here they are. Now watch this here. He said, now, tell them, you all tonight, you still might not get it. Now, I didn't have this one here listed. I had Adam and Eve, but it wasn't listed. Now he finna take me to a different realm already. He said, take them on over here with Cain and Abel is at. Since they missed Adam and Eve, take them over there with Cain and Abel. Two brothers. One born of the flesh, and one born of the Spirit. Even the words in which they titled to Cain, if you would have, no, 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 no. That's why this book can't be the word. Because Abel and Cain represent exactly their actions. They represent their actions. Cain was born of the flesh. He was serpent seed. Abel was the spiritual seed. It didn't matter who it came out of, because Yah called all men to the forefront to be the seed that he placed in them, whether it be the seed of the Spirit or whether it be the serpent seed. That's why he pulled up with Yeshua. Yeshua HaMashiach came in and he said, come on now. Oh, he sent the sword to divide. What are you dividing? Yeshua HaMashiach. What are you trying to divide? I'm dividing, Deborah, the flesh from the spirit. The war have always been on ground level for us to see it, but only in the spirit. And those that take it only in the flesh and live and die with it, that's on them. But Yah promised, now he didn't say this, but it had been said, that in the end days, knowledge shall increase. And one thing we didn't know, the knowledge is spiritual. It's not natural. He ain't increasing your knowledge in your flesh. You see how Satan is getting everybody to pull up with all this knowledge and this ability to do things to destroy each other. Look at all the guns. What did these migrants come over here with all these type of fire powers that they have? The United States poured them out to them. Y'all just don't know who this country is. Why? Because you rumbling in the flesh, not knowing that the true battle is in the spirit. And if you rumble in the flesh, that's your rumble to the lake of fire. That's why you're rumbling in the flesh. When you make it all decision in your whole way of thinking and feeling, if you make all those decisions in the flesh, you are born of the flesh. But if there's a pin, needle, or light in you to say, hold up a little bit, hold up now, hold up. I don't like this. This is not right. It's more to it than that. Then you got something to hold on to. So here he say, pull up Abel and Cain, they were on him. Cain had no reason to really destroy Abel. They were brothers from the same same father and mother. What was the purpose? One was the spiritual seed, and the other one was the serpent seed. What was in Genesis 3 and 15? Y'all say, I'm going to put intimacy between them, which is hate. So it was already placed between them before they got here. It was already there. It was already there. So Cain didn't stand a chance, nor did Abel. Because Yah had already placed the division. And that's what Cain went after. That which was already placed in Genesis 3 and 15. So you see that war? You see that war in the natural. A brother and a brother have no reason to be evil and evil against each other. They brothers. And did y'all know, I think they had to be like teenagers, young teenagers. Why would the brother kill the other brother? Do you really think it's about jealousy? Do you really think it's about envy? Do you really think it's about this, that, and that? I know they told you, oh, it's because he was jealous with the relationship with Yah that Abel had, and and then you hear something say, when Yah said that if you would have did it with the right heart, you too. No. They can put anything in here and anything out, because this is not the word. This is the words. And who are you the words of, Deborah? Tell them. Man, the flesh. Hello. You cannot bring spirit on words that man has to place. That's why he has to climb on top to give it to you right. Or you're going to live and die with it wrong. And that's what the world has done. So what happened? Because in Genesis 3:15, he told Satan, you're going to have your seeds, I'm going to have mine, but I'm going to put something between you. I'm going to put a division here. What is that division? Hate. And that's what happened. It was already in them before they were born. The seed of the serpent and the spiritual seed was at Abel. So what women, hold up now, Deborah, hold up. If it was already here before they was born, that means that the war was on. Yes, it was. There was always a spiritual war. And that's what we keep missing. We're missing the spiritual war, y'all. Once you can understand, even in your household, if you're in a situation where you can't defeat something, you can't battle something, it's because it's a war behind that which you can't battle. And you know what I like about that war that you can't do nothing with, that's in the spirit? It leads you to turn to only one individual, the Most High Yah. You can't turn to your left. You can't turn to your right. Either you're going to turn into him, because he's the only one that can defeat that battle. That's why he said, put on the whole armor. He didn't say it like that, and he gave it to me to break it down to you. Put on the whole armor, but then I like what he said, but stand still. Because this ain't a flesh battle. Get out the way. This is a war going on in the spirit. So even Abel and Cain already had a war going on in the spirit. You see? And we thinking they just out here just killing each other, brother, killing. Because if you look at that same thing, you see it today. Same way. Not a pastor, a bishop, and a priest, an evangelist, a prophet, a prophetess, a Maureen, a seer, a watchman. Nobody can justify it, clarify it, and identify it, because the spirit of Yah says they only understand the war in the flesh. You see, this is why the gate is narrow, you guys. You got to find this thing. Can you find it without him showing you? No, you can't. It got to be found in the spirit. It has to be found in the spirit realm. You cannot go out here thinking that you can find. It has to be found in the spirit realm. That's why he said, and very few shall find therein, because if it's in the spirit realm, the only way you're going to find it if he, the light, shows you the way. Because you ain't going to even find it in your spirit realm. But if he's the light to show you your way in you, you're going to find that narrow gate with no other hard way but the direction to it. Okay, so what he was explaining to me is that it changed my life. It has changed my life and has suffered me to have what I have today is what I didn't have yesterday. More in depth, more spirit and truth. Okay, now it says if it brought me straight to the different level in Yah. Him revealing these things to me brought me to straight to the different level in Yah. That's why I say I'm not on the same level. I'm not on the same level. And a higher understanding in many things. Because it's been like, ever since I said that I did 2 videos where he's going to be on the front line, and it's been nonstop, y'all. Nonstop. He just showing me and telling me everything. And do y'all know he got a track on what you said? The Most High has a track on what you have said. He's sure been reversing, bringing it right back, willing it right back to me. And then he clams on top. Okay. So he says, understand the level of the spirit war or the battle is so off the chain of understanding in the flesh. So the battle of the spiritual war and the battle is so off the chain of understanding in the flesh. So this is what many in the flesh is not going to find. It's because it's just that deep. And this is going back, y'all. Let me kind of go on, add that to this. This is the reason why we need the Holy Spirit. This is the reason why I said it would teach you all things. Because the things you need to know is in the spiritual realm, baby. It will show you things to come. Why? It got to show you the things in the spirit realm that's coming. It will reveal things it will bring things back to your remembrance. Why? He needs what you experienced at one time to be brought back to your remembrance, but it's only can apply in the spirit realm. He will comfort you. You think he comforts you, your nasty flesh? He ain't coming to comfort your flesh. He's wanting to comfort your spirit. Because the spirit can get overwhelmed. Why? Because the war is real, baby. The battle is real. It's in the spirit realm. Now, here it says, okay, I now understand the power that is also resting in those messages upload on the new channel. The new channel I'm on, I can see y'all a different level that I'm on. I can see it. I can feel it. I was not on this level of where I am now. And it's a beautiful thing for me. Okay. Let us go. And okay, this is a good one. This is a good one. He says, Deborah, there is no difference between one and another. He said, we measure the flesh. But he wants us to understand that there's no difference in the flesh. The garden had two things. And in the Garden of Eden, there was two things different. Ooh. The Father is saying there's nothing different. No one's different. So he said what one flesh would do, the other flesh would do. Let's go there. He said, Deborah, an individual that hate is no different than a robber, someone that robs. You know, like a bank or store, a house or whatever. Someone that is a hater is no different than someone that go around robbing people. The Father wants me to say to you, a liar is no different than a murderer. A liar is no different than a murderer. He said that Israel and Judah is no different than the fake Jews. They are no different than the fake Jews. He said Republicans and Democratic, and this is where he said, are no different from one another. He said male and female, there's no difference, Deborah, between male and female. He said there's no difference, Deborah, in white and black. There's no difference. White people and black people. He said, Deborah, there's no difference in good nor bad. Why? If anybody in the live chat can answer that. Why is there not, said the Most High Yah, different from one to another? Anybody in the live chat. If you can, only if you can. If you know that answer, let me give it to you again. He said to me, there's nothing different from one to another. What one do, the other do. What is he saying? There's no different than a person being a hater from the person being a robber. There's no difference from a liar being a murderer or a liar than a murderer. There's no difference from Judah and Israel than the fake Jews. There's no difference. There's no difference between Republican and Democratic. Mm-hmm. A male and a female. There's no difference, Deborah. Then he began to say, me, it's no difference than white people and black people. Deborah, there's no difference. Then he said, there's no difference in good or bad. Ooh-wee. Now, the question is, then there's no difference. Is this what you're saying? There's really no difference from one to the other? There's no difference. Anybody in the live chat? Okay, I think I have someone. Oh boy, both of them got it. One says, in the spirit realm, there's definitely no difference. Nope. No. That's okay. You said in the spirit realm, there's definitely no difference. Exactly. You're right. There's no difference there. And then one said, it's all unrighteous. Exactly. You can use that. You can use that because that's pretty much what he said. That's pretty much what he said. Because we know he all righteous. In the flesh, there is no God. That's why we are like filthy rag. Why? Because the war is in the spirit. The true identity of who you are is found in the spirit realm. That's why I couldn't understand it back then, y'all. When many kept saying, oh, everybody want to talk this spiritual thing. Everybody want to talk. But guess what, y'all? I ain't heard since I've been on this devil platform, 6 going on 7 years, nobody speak the spiritual realm. That's why they didn't want to speak it. Because that's where the true battle is. That's where the true war is at. See, you can't call a liar a liar. He's sin. And a murder, he's sin. What is they doing? That's different. One is murdering and one is lying. So what do they have in common? They both are unrighteous. You see? They both are practicing the serpent seed actions. So what makes one different than the other? It don't. Not in the flesh. Everything goes in the flesh. That's why he said, seek ye the kingdom first. So the kingdom will send his spirit in you. And when you seek the kingdom first and he send his spirit down in you, now you got a pen needle of light. And when that Holy Spirit is in you, guess what? You might do wrong in your flesh, but he got you in the spirit. And after a while, you begin to see the things that are wrong and you turn them right. Why? Because he's greater in you to help you to do that. That's why he's so great in you. And then he turned around and said, I'm going to hold you blameless. Why? Because now you're in the spirit. It's different than what you are in your flesh. He's going to cover you in the spirit. Because he know that flesh ain't coming to the kingdom. I don't give a rap behind about that flesh. That flesh ain't coming to my kingdom, but I got you what? I got you in the spirit. I got you in the spirit because I'm in your spirit. I got you. But that flesh, it ain't coming. I'm going to hold you blameless. Wait a minute. Hold up, Father. Hold up. Let's go back a little bit. Where you going to hold them blameless at in the kingdom? I'm going to hold them blameless. Because it's what they are in the spirit, Deborah. And they have to, the way that you are in the spirit, it's going to float over in your flesh. Is it going to make you perfect? No way. Because you see a flesh. You're going to sin. But you ain't going to go out here murdering and doing things to displease he that is in you. That's why I try to explain to y'all about the commandments and the laws. Why are they spirit? All the disciples laid it out that there is a law that's separate from the law of the flesh. But nobody wants to believe that. They want to whoop you with the law of the flesh. So you would never understand the law of the spirit, or you would not want to either be part, you would not want to be partaker in the law of the spirit because you're so embedded in the law of the flesh. That's the same way with the men. Under my you're supposed to be submissive to me. You're supposed to be under my control. I'm the ruler. I'm the king. I'm the leader. Baby, that's in the flesh. There's a war going on in the spirit. And if you ain't right, man, in your spirit with the Most High, I'm not going to be right with you. See, that's why they got you. They got you just where y'all let them have you. They got you exactly where y'all want them to have you, in the flesh. This thing is about the flesh that think it rules, and it's ruling. But it's ruling based on what's in the spirit. But the spirit is the eternal Yah. So if you're conducting yourself on the outside in a way that does not represent the Most High Yah, guess what? You are like that in your spirit. And that spirit that you are living in your flesh out, guess what? When it comes to the eternal, you better find your way in the books where the goats and the lake of fire reside. Because that's where you're headed. And this is the sort of stuff they don't want you to know. I can't blame Christians, Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses. I can't blame nobody because I know that it's a spiritual thing. That's why my whole goal was to get you to know whatever spirit and truth I could possibly get you to know. And how did he give it to me? When I was a young person, understanding what took place before the foundation of the world. What is that? Spiritual. That's what took place before the foundation of the world. Spiritual, everything spiritual. But what they did, they cut all that out and began to level you out in the flesh on the earth. Is to say this is where the power is, this is where everything means, this is where everything stands for, this is A to B, this is the way A to Z. And people went along with it with no problem. So when he told me a liar was no different than a murder, all of it came to play. I said, yep, that's about right. Because I knew that. Y'all, I knew that. Because what he's saying in the flesh, there's no difference. There's no difference. That's why Solomon said, enjoy. Whatever you got, y'all gave it to you for your flesh. Enjoy it. Because that's your portion. Do you know what portion means? That means y'all portion that out for you, for your flesh. And then people wonder, why is it that someone would go out here and rob a little girl for 7 cents and kill her. So you see the mindset. Now, are they killing her in the flesh? Yes. But what is happening to her spirit? Its place is already assigned to her. And just because you killed her in the flesh don't mean she didn't have somewhere to go in her spirit. Because Yah is on the front line. You best show that he is on the front line and he there to stay. And you and nobody else is going to have nothing to say, do, or think, or feel about it. Because all this mess that's on this earth is regarding the flesh. And what's keeping it going? The spirit. Why do you think the elites and the people who rule this world, all this abomination and all this witchcraft and Satanism and sacrifice and sex trafficking, organ trafficking, kidnapping and all this abomination and all this evil and wicked going on? I'm like saying, but Father, all they doing all this, you don't see what they doing, Father. Yeah, they doing this, they doing that, Father. Yeah, he said to me like he said to me then. Now you see. That's because that is different. That is not that which is spirit. It's for the flesh. Anything goes. Any and everything goes in the flesh. That's what that's about. Let me turn this around. So when he opened that door, it's not too. So we're on this thing and we're focusing our whole living on our living, which is our flesh. This is also, you remember when Sister Deborah say, you running around here saying, this is my life. I got one life to live. Nobody tell me what to do. I'm going to live it to my best of my, this is my life. This is my life. No, or they'll say, this is my life. This is my, baby, you ain't got no life. That's how wrong people have in here. That's how they have been here. They gone. That life belonged to him. Now let's back that thing up to living. That living belongs to your flesh. Go for what you know, baby. Because if you live in that in the flesh, you best bet the spirit that's in the battle and in the war is war. And it's winning you over to stay where you were born. And that is in the flesh. George, son, all that. So therefore, all that is going on, you best bet. You see, can you see the two wars? You can see it. You should be able to see it after tonight. It's one in the flesh and one in the spirit. And the spirit has to be where the heavy battle is. Why? Because it's the only thing stands for you come judgment. The flesh go to the earth, to the ground. So it don't give a rest behind by the spirit anyway. But when the spirit is a seed of Satan, it uses your flesh to think the way it wants you to think, to feel the way it wants you to feel, to do the things that it wants you to do. And you best bet if it's a certain serpent seed, it's going to have you see in all ways that is darkness and wicked and evil. Having you thinking a certain way that you should not be thinking and feeling a certain way that you should not be feeling. But if you are that serpent seed, you right on it. Okay? See, that's what the serpent seed come in the womb. It's coming to the womb of the spirit. You see? The seed is given unto man. Okay? And inside that seed is a spirit that has not been activated. Only time that spirit can be activated is once that child comes out of the woman and then Yah takes his breath to activate the spirit that is within. Then now you become a living spirit. You see? But what's inside that spirit? Either you the spirit, the serpent seed, or either you the flesh seed. Born of the flesh, born of the spirit. The serpent seed or the spiritual seed. Which part are you in tune with? Tree of life or the tree of good and evil? Are you in the book of life or in the books to the lake of hell? You see how everything's split down in twos? Do you think that they did that on the earth? No. Amongst flesh? Flesh can't separate flesh. So something in the kingdom had to separate everything. Yeah, right. So it separates what's going to come. Oh, I'm going to get them all. But they're going to stand. And I'm going to be thrilled to say, go over there. Go, get this. Okay. This you here. See, that's you thinking he ain't getting no victory. So you walk y'all tails out here think he ain't getting no victory. Oh, he gonna get the victory at the throne. He's gonna get the victory. So you run around here think he can't do without you. He needs you. Live or die. He needs you because you holy. You saved. You spirit and truth. Baby, check. Because when he gets you to the throne, all victory, all glory, all honor, all praise, when he send you where you need to be. Because that's where you come from. He had already had you written. So he just sending you where he had you written. So you see how the fear of Yah is important? But you can't have a fear of Yah Why? Because it's spiritual. It has to be in the spirit. You can't have faith in the flesh. I try to tell y'all that. Faith is spiritual. You can have righteous in the flesh. It is spiritual. You can't have belief in the flesh. It is spiritual. Now, all those things, oh, you can have in the flesh, but it's not spiritual. See, Satan is imitator. He has it really bad trying to mimic Yah. And he, honestly, I'm going to go and give it to him. Honestly, I think he did a pretty good job on the earth. But he could not have done it without Yah. Ha, let me go and tell him like that, Father Yah. He couldn't have done it without the Most High Yah. Okay? Now, I want to say this here that he told me when I was washing dishes. He said, in the garden, there were 2 trees. Right there is where it stood, Deborah. It stood right there, right before their eyes. And they didn't see it. They didn't see eternal life, and they didn't see eternal death. They didn't even see it. Tell me, have any of y'all ever heard somebody preach anywhere, whether it's on television or in a church, in a synagogue, or anywhere, and tell you that the lake of fire, the eternal death, and the kingdom of heaven's eternal was right there, the garden, in the garden, those 2 trees? Just be honest. They can't, because it's never been told. It's never been preached. This is the reason why they want certain ones to shut up. But the Father said, how can you want one to shut up? How is it a man supposed to speak and a woman supposed to shut up? It's no difference. There's no difference between you. Both are your flesh. It's what's in your spirit. Is your spirit born to lead your flesh, or is your spirit born to lead your to be over your flesh? Is it your spirit, or is it your spirit? It's a spiritual battle. Is it your spirit that's born of the flesh, or is it your spirit that's born of the spirit? You see what I'm saying? Which one is it? That's where the real war is. That's where the real war is. And what happened? It rose into the eyes and into the flesh what it is in the spirit. It rose right into them. That's how Adam and Eve was able to go straight to the lake of fire. Even after he said, what did he tell them? He gave them 1 commandment, 1 instruction, and 1 consequence. They broke them all in 1 second. Why? Because that's who their spirit was that was in them. It was for damnation. So it went exactly where it's supposed to go. Okay? So it says, do one understand? Okay, yeah, I did cover that. The murderer. Oh, here's another one he was saying. He was saying that the spirit, remember I used to tell you all how there's 2 laws. There's 2 commandments. Remember how I told y'all that? Now, there is 2 laws and there is 2 commandments. And the reason why I told y'all don't let them battle you all or hit you across the head using, oh, you better keep the commandments. You better keep the commandments, keep the laws. Those laws they telling y'all to keep is for their flesh. But what did it tell you? That Yah had the law in the inner man and the commandment in the inner man. You see? So what is the inner man? Spiritual. So you see why they can't battle you or knock you over the head with the commandments when they on the earth telling you how to keep something they can't keep? Because if their spirit ain't keeping it in the spirit and they teaching you to keep it in the flesh, don't make sense, do it? That's why I tell you all that Yah did things and broke things up in twos. The twos also represent a spiritual battle. You see, the flesh is fighting its battle on the earth in the flesh, and the spirit battle is in the spirit. That's why it's so hard for people to not want the ways of the spirit of righteousness. It's because if their spirit already got the ways of the serpent seed, they cannot defeat it. They can't beat it. So when Solomon was saying there's nothing new under the sun and everything is vain and vexed, Deborah, guess what? It connects to the same thing I'm saying. On the earth, he said, it's vain and vexed. It's worthless. So that's all I'm saying. Same thing. Why? Because there's the real realm in the spirit. And we out here clowning in the flesh, thinking this is all that and something. And this is why people's heart cannot. And he said a hardened heart, because their hardened heart is already hardened, Deborah. It ain't got nothing to do with anything outside of who they are in the spirit. This is why their heart are so hardened, because it matches their heart in the spirit realm. So it says here also, according to understand the commandment in the law, it is given only in the spirit. Once you have mastered it in spirit, it becomes who you are in the flesh. But you got to go to the spirit realm first. And what people are doing, when I say clowning and getting these circus tickets, they're getting the circus tickets and purchasing them and going to all these clown shows, because that's in the flesh. You see? They figure, well, okay, I could show up and show out in the flesh. Ain't nobody gonna know who I am. But the Father wants to set you free to this. They know who they are in the spirit. That's their spirit man that's reacting in their flesh. That's their spirit man. You know how I say, go to the mirror, look at yourself, tell yourself you're ugly. That was because trying to get you to see the other side of who you are. I wasn't literally saying how ugly you are in facial or in flesh. I meant in spirit how ugly you really are, because that's the true person. That's the only one that's going to stand before judgment is your spirit. Just imagine people don't know that. And it's over. And it's finished. This is why you need the Holy Spirit to reside in you. I ain't talking about him on the top of you, on the side of you, because that way it's where you want him to be in your flesh. If he can't reside in you, he don't want to be no part of you, because heaven got it wrote in and wrote out who you really are. So he ain't come down here to play. So even during the time he telling me it's over and it's finished, she's telling me, hey, the war is defeated already. It was defeated in the kingdom. And right now it's over. And anybody in the live chat know what he means when he said it is over? We talking today. Now understanding the whole overall. What is he saying when he says it's over? What is he saying is over? And don't think he ain't saying something, because he's saying something. That's why he's clamming on top of me. He's getting it, putting it on the top, putting it all the way up. But don't forget, it was settled before it was even started. And it wasn't over. So what would be the reason why he told me in the last 3 years, almost 3 years, that it's over, it's finished? The wheat from the tare. That could be partaker. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Separating the wheat from the tare. So what the wheat from the tare? Why would they use that? The wheat from the tare. Do you know what that means? Do y'all understand what the wheat and the tare mean? I'm telling you, I'm at a different level today, y'all. Not today, from now on. It has to go back to the same thing. The wheat and the tare. He separated the wheat and the tare. You know what that is? The spiritual seed and the serpent seed. Not quite, but quite. Separating the wheat and the tare was in the spirit realm, y'all. It was in the spirit realm. It was always in the spirit realm. That's another part of, you can actually say it is finished. He separated. Is it still war? Yes, but the separation is there. So this is what, so that's this. When he, wheat and the tare can only be applied to the spiritual realm. We can't bring the wheat and the tare into the flesh, because all flesh is the what? There's no difference. You see how when it comes down to separating the righteous from the unrighteous, you have to separate them in the spirit. You can't separate them in the flesh. He said there's no difference, because what one do in the flesh, the other one do, whether it's a liar or a murderer. So we do things in our flesh that one can't separate the other. That's why he said when they come talking about black people and white people, they really can't be separate. You can't separate them. They do the same thing. You said Democratic and Republican, you can't separate them. They do the same thing. What it is meaning? They after the same thing. Black and white, they after the same thing. Nothing good. Oh, you see what I'm saying? So you really can't separate them in the flesh. Come over in the line of the spirit and you'll see who's who and what's what. You see? And that's why, how can they come to the spirit realm, Deborah? I'm going to teach that tomorrow, but I'm going to give you a little something. That's why he's giving you the tools. He said, I would not send you without giving you the tools to work. That's why I tell you all about the spirit of discerning, the spirit of eyes, all these things. And you know what? Honestly, he didn't have to justify, clarify, and identify that he didn't have something listed as far as the eyes. He said that if I've given you the gift in the spirit realm to discern the eyes, not just for the spirit realm, but through the spirit realm, through the natural eyes, you can see the spirit. So he said, when I'm giving you that, I'm giving you that to be able to determine. And then he gave me an example. He said, you know how they would take you and put you up on a lie detector and hook you up to all these machines? They're doing a way that they can get you blind. But I've given you the gift to eyes, to box the eyes. That's the gift in the spirit realm. To the world, call their gift the lie detector test. Which one is better? The one in the spirit or the one in the natural? The one in the spirit, because it's 100. The one in the world is crooked as crooked can be, along with wicked and unjust. See, that's what he's saying. Just because they have things, don't place them in the category. And that's what people have done. 99.9. They place everything that they could see, they could hear, and how they could measure things on the earth. They have placed it in order. Oh, whites are better than blacks. Republicans is going to be better than Democrats. Democrats going to be better than Republicans. And then y'all sit here saying, but Deborah, do they know they ain't doing them but voting to be destroyed? So I wanted to let you know that, in case y'all didn't know that. But you're going to see it real soon, right before your eyes. They ain't voting for you. They voting against you. They want you to vote for them so they can vote against destroying you. Ain't nothing the Democratic and Republicans ever had in common outside of destroying the people in this country. And the people are too ignorant to see it. And they're not going to. Because they think the battle is on earthly ground. And don't even understand Republican spirits and Democratic spirit is wicked together. They're not even wicked separate. They are wicked together. Why? Why would you say that, Deborah? That's how they're going to gain the power. Is working together, not separate. Everything they have ever done has always been working together against the people. And the people today still can't see it. Because I think a lot of white people have had their so-called way to now they're going to see really who they are. And they're going to like it. Because people are going to adapt to all the chaos. People going to see all the chaos as something good. Even though they're going to see people dying and killing and blood in the streets and blood in the houses being torn up, wars with different nationalities and all that, they ain't going to care. They going to melt right on in. Why? Because they're playing this game with Democratic and Republican. And there's a war behind them. That's wicked than Democratic and wicked than Republicans. It's a spiritual wicked war. That's warring to keep them ready to destroy you. And you too stupid because you thinking it's about what you see in the natural, what's going on in the world today, or what they doing and how they gonna do this. Them people ain't gonna give you nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing for you. What they're doing, and let me say it again, they are creating a unity to destroy you. Now, let me correct that. It ain't that they creating, it's already created to destroy you. It's nothing they bring it to nan one of the tables outside of the number one thing, destroying the people. You're going to get exactly what you asked for. Because your flesh is desiring fleshly war and fleshly choices, fleshly this, and ain't no flesh different than the other. There's no black person, no white person greater than the black person. And you have to also take it in consideration to heaven. When heaven looks down here, he don't see black and white. That's why I tell you all about Israel. There's a spiritual Israel he coming for. It's not a color as to, okay, you have to be this, you have to be this, because that's why Judah is so messed up right now regarding Africa. They call it Africa Israel too. You know, those people over there are Africa. Now, I believe some of them over there are Africa, but it don't matter no more with me. Some of the African, they're not Africa, but they was left over there. Israel, some that was left over there, not these that's out here now. No. Everything they doing is to destroy this country. And it's not because they destroyed the country destroyed itself from within. Now, what I'm going to tell you something that did bother me a couple of days ago. To hear this European man who looked to me like he was a ghost. He was heavily pale with a pink neck, but his whole head was white, but he didn't look good, y'all. Not good at all. And I began to hear his words. And I was like, oh, Father, he sound like he said the truth of what's coming. But then when he got this praise in America, tell me if they do this, God is going to do that. Oh, you off the map now, bro. You off the map. Guess why? Y'all, it's not coming for this country. Like black and white and rich and poor and Democratic and Republicans and Baptists and Jehovah's Witness and Hebrew Israelite. That's not what he's coming for. None of that can worship him. Why? He's over in the spirit realm. None of that can come into the spirit realm. I know y'all didn't know that. None of that can step into the spirit realm. I know you didn't know it, did you? You know it now. None of that trash can step into the spirit realm. That's the ideal of letting you know that he said all things are the same. There's no difference between them. So when we're looking at all this in the flesh, there's no difference between one and the other. There's no different than a liar and a murderer. There's no different than one who has a heart of hate than one that robs banks. There's no different. Because they flesh. And what you're seeing is who their spirit is. So if they are a liar, then their spirits are liars. We know who's the father of lies. If they are robbers, they like to go around robbing, it's because their spirit is a robber in the spirit. Practicing wicked and evil out of the flesh and calling it righteous, just, and upright. Look at the courthouse. They're going to the courthouse. Have you raising your hand over the Bible? And everything in that courthouse, from the ground it was built on to the top of the roof, it's loaded with wicked and evil. Why? Because in the spirit realm, that's who they are. And if you can't see it in the natural, that's on you. It's where you at with Yah, the light. Okay, let me say this now that he said it. He said that when you be talking about a pen needle of light and the darkness, and how the light that's the light. The light is spiritual. It's letting you see into darkness, which is the things of the flesh. It's allowing you to see what's what. But do the people want to see now? Everybody people are taking it as a personal thing and don't understand it. That's your flesh. You're taking it all in your flesh. And if you're like that in your flesh, you're like that in your spirit. You see, that's the war. That's why you can't defeat it. You remember I was teaching, I spoke a message about the apology and asking for forgiveness. Don't keep wearing it out. Don't keep trying to mend it and make it right. You remember me saying that? That is what I mean. Don't go doing that, because what? Exactly. It's in the natural realm. In the spirit realm, it's nothing there that's going to change the war itself within them. You see? So you got to keep them, let them breathe, let them have their say, be who they are, say what they feel, because you can't change it in the spirit realm. You can't change it. You can't do nothing with it. So you're just defeating it. So leave your apologies and your repent and asking for forgiveness right there and keep it going. Don't turn around and say, let me say it again. Oh, don't let me apologize again. Let me get it right this time. Y'all said leave it right there and keep it going. Because where we're at, it's no purpose. It's no reason but to set yourself free and to know that you did what you're supposed to do. And that's all that I needed to do, because the war is not what you see in the flesh. It is the war in the spirit. So it'd be too hard for the flesh to really accept that apology or that repent or that sorry. It'd be too hard. So you must go on in the spirit realm of where you at. You know why? For your sake. But you keep on going. You're not going to switch anything. You're not going to turn anything. Why? Because if I'm right here and there's a war in the back of me that's greater than the war in front of me, why I'm trying to get the one in front of me and the one in the back of me is greater? See if you can answer that. See if you can answer that. Now, this is something I want to just say here. I think I'm doing this right. I hope I'm doing this right. I listen to this, y'all. Just listen to this here. This is going to kind of sum all the stuff that I'm saying. Let's go to Ephesians. In the book of Ephesians, let's start with chapter 5, verse 31 and 32. Just listen to this. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 31 and 32. For this cause shall a man leave his mother and his father, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they shall be two. What? And they two, a man and a woman. What is it? Wait a minute. Let's get that back. A man and his wife. That makes two, right? Listen to what it says. Now, this here is where I want you all to really think of this. Just think of it. Take tonight and just think of it. Watch this here. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 31 and 32. For this cause shall a man leave his mother and his father and his mother, and shall join unto his wife, and they two shall be one. You see that? Notice what it says after. What does it say? They should be two in what? Two in what? That's a powerful punch right there. He showed me that this evening. Let's go over it again. Verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his wife and his mother, and shall join unto his wife, and they two shall be one. Two in one. Flesh. So if they're one in flesh, wouldn't you think their spirit has to first and foremost be one? So when you hear him say equally, that's what it means. A man and a woman is joined together in one, equally yoked. Equally yoked. That means they're the same in one. That means if y'all going to join a man and a woman into a oneness, they have to be oneness in what? The flesh or the spirit? Answer that. He's showing you that they only, based on the words, it's only flesh. They are not one in the spirit, unless they are both brought together by Yah, and the spirit of Yah is in them, and they serving Yah as one, not just now in the flesh, but also in the spirit. It's called equally yoked in the spirit. You see? In the spirit, we are the same as in the body of Hamashiach. Both of us is in the body of Hamashiach. We both are in the body of Hamashiach, man and woman. Because if you take it from here, it tells you they only one in the flesh. And you know flesh ain't got nothing to do with the Father. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? Father ain't got nothing to do with that flesh. I keep telling you that's a different battle than the one behind. That ain't the spiritual battle. The spiritual battle is greater than the battle in front of you, because the battle behind you dictates the battle in front of you. So when he said, instead of saying spirit, it says one flesh. So you can keep in mind, men and women, when you're coming together in a marriage and you are not equally yoked in the spirit, meaning in the body of Hamashiach together, then you're just marrying in the flesh. And that's what it's telling you right here. You're one flesh. So tell me, somebody tell me, when have Yah found it to be important that a man and a woman come together in the flesh to be one in the flesh? Adam and Eve was one, not just in the flesh, but one in the eternal destiny to the lake of fire. They were oneness in it. Ain't that deep? That is deep. See, you didn't see it, did you? Because see, they were both born of the flesh. So therefore, when they took of that tree, they signed their name onto the lake of fire. Even though heaven had them wrote in and wrote out. That's why he put the tree there for. So they can go in their destiny. So when you see this here, it's telling you flesh. It's telling you one flesh. But if you are equally yoked, and that's the marriage he said, that let no man put you under when you are equally yoked in the spirit realm of who Yah is. You see, not in the flesh, but in the spirit. See, they that's why I say you can't take this book and make it the word. When it's sitting here telling you shall be one flesh. When do you know? Show me something that the Father said that he himself is all about the flesh. Not now scripture, you will find. There's nothing for you to look for that he's categorizing himself as caught up in the flesh. No, there's a battle going on. And that's everybody's spirit is battling. He ain't got time for that flesh. He letting the flesh do what it does best, because if it's battling in the spirit, it's battling in the flesh as well. You get what I'm saying? So here, if you look at it, now listen to this. I want you to see it, you guys, and then see how something is going to bounce off of it. In Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his, wait a minute. No, let's go up to 30. 30 might have something to say. I don't know if it's the same thing. No, it might not. Okay, yes, it is. The whole even go at the more and more I go up in Ephesians 5, it's talking about the flesh. It's talking about the flesh. All of it's talking about the flesh. But let's stick with that 31. It says, for this cause shall a man leave his mother and his father, and he shall be joined unto his wife. Now, that's only flesh, y'all. This is only flesh. And they two shall be one flesh. Now, you know y'all ain't got nothing to do with the flesh. You see? This is why you got to be careful trying to make this book righteous in the order of he that is righteous. You got to listen to the Spirit talk to you, because here it's actually telling you one flesh. Watch this here. And 32 separated. 32, verse 32 separated. It lets you understand it in the flesh. Now watch this here. And it says, this is a great mystery. But I speak concerning Christ and the church. Meaning that example was just put there to show you the connection with Christ and the church. But he says, but this is a great mystery. But I speak concerning Christ and the church. He didn't want you to take what he said and apply it to the spirit realm. He just wanted you to use it as an example and then turn around and told you this is a great mystery. Well, why is that a great mystery? Because he brought a man and a woman together. What's the mystery? Because in the spirit realm, they're not together. They're not together. That's the mystery. They're not together in the spirit realm unless they are in the body of AHAYAH together. That's the mystery. That's what I tell you all. Don't get caught up in people in this Hebrew Israelite cult movement deceiving you at a great level. Because here, I think this was Paul sitting here telling you, but wait a minute, y'all, this is a great mystery. Then it stopped. But I speaking concerning Christ and the church. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Because, Deborah, I'm trying to separate the flesh from the spirit. That's why I said Christ and the church, which is the body of AHAYAH. See, he just separated the body of AHAYAH from what he had just said in 31. See, Honestly, I wish you would have gave us more. It probably is more in there, because that's actually showing you that even Paul separate the unity of a man and a woman in the flesh from the unity of what he's trying to use as an example. And he was speaking concerning Christ and the church, unified as a husband and wife. And that's why he said it's a mystery. The mystery is one is spirit and one is flesh. Hello. So you can't sit around here thinking that, see, we put too much emphasis on male and female, mother and father. We put all this stuff on a pedestal. But where is our heart and our spirit? Where are we staying with y'all? How about that? That's why he said, I come to bring, you say you love mom and daddy better than you love me. I tell you what, here's my sword. That's right. Because the battle is in the unseen. And when you don't love on him in the spirit, but you gonna run up, oh, I love my mom and daddy. You love your mom and daddy better than you love me. I tell you what, let's chop this thing up. Let's put it where it really is. You stay over there in the battle of the flesh, because that's who you are in the battle of the spirit. You on the other side. So you say you like your mama, daddy, and daddy better than you love me? Uh-huh. Anytime you say something like that, that's telling you you're loving on the flesh. So if you're loving that deep on the flesh, you're like that in the spirit. And you won't ever see the kingdom for eternal. It's telling you who you are. When you say, when you really feel that, and there's a lot of people that feels like that. Same thing with people feeling like that for their children. Same thing with a husband and a wife. They think that the love of their flesh is beyond the love that's in the back, residing in the spirit. Okay, now we're about to end it right here after we can cover this, and I need to cover it. And we're going to start, I want to say Ephesians chapter 6, and I just want to read 1 first. Children, obey parents in Yah, for this is right. I'm trying to figure out, for this is right. Okay, I see what he said. Look what he's saying here, Yah. He says, Ephesians chapter 6, children, obey your parents in the Lord. So what do y'all think it said? Somebody in the live chat, do you understand what it said? For this is right. What do you think he said? What is that going on right there? Anybody? Just take a shot. Anybody gonna die? Just take a shot. Can you repeat it? You ain't got your Bible? Okay. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. It says here, but for this is right. For this is right. Oh, you're driving. You better be careful. Oh my God. Driving while listening. Oh my God. You typing. I see it. You got on here. I'm driving. I can see it. So therefore you typing and you texting and driving. Uh-huh. No, don't do no more of that while you driving. No. No. But the question is, I'm going to show y'all something in that. When I seen that, I didn't want to make that a part of it. But when I saw it, I said, can I swing it? He said, yeah, because everything you're going to be looking in here, everything that you're going to look to and you're going to look at, you're going to see how you're going to line everything up with the war that's unseen. And this is what he says. He's speaking to the natural. Obey your parents in spirit. Watch this here. For this is right. What is right? Righteous. Who is righteous? Yah. And he said, in the Lord. You see? So he's taking you to a spiritual setting, and he's telling you, for this is righteous. That's the spiritual level. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Let's pull that over to the natural, where all of us are right now at. Let's say, obey your parents, for this is good. Yes, exactly. Spiritual children. You nailed it. You nailed it. That is exactly what it said. Exactly. He's talking to the ones that's already righteous. And he's telling them, in Yah, because you're in him. For this is right, because you're in him. So you nailed that one. That's a good one there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Spiritual children. That is exactly what it is. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that. That was pretty good. Because all you have to do is look at it. That's all you have to do is look at it, and you can see. And then it says, which is the first commandment with the promise. The promise of what? What's the promise? Wait a minute. What is the promise? It's spiritual. The eternal promise, y'all. It's spiritual. Listen to it. Listen to it, y'all. Verse 2. Honor thy mother and thy father, which is the first commandment with promise. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Come on now. See? That ain't nothing natural. That's spiritual. A spiritual promise. Even when it says your parent in Yah, to me right there is telling you the parent that's in Yah, in the Yah. You see? So it's going right back to what I was telling you. Everything I'm going to be looking at and I'll be going through, it's going to take me right back. Now, let's go. Now we're finna rumble, and then we're going to be out of here. Now, here it goes. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11. Now, here we go. Put on the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, to put on the whole armor of Yah, would this be flesh? Would this be something you can put on in the flesh? Will this be something one can put on in the flesh? And not only did it says the armor, it says the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. It's spiritual, baby. And always remember that. Don't let nobody tell you that armor is something you can go in your closet and put on, or this Bible. Okay? This Bible cannot be your armor. This book cannot be your armor, y'all. It's spiritual. And then you're going to understand how you put it on. I'm going to show you. Okay? So here it is telling you the whole armor of Yah. Anything that is Yah, it is what? Spiritual. Yah is spirit. And if he got a whole armor, it is spirit too. You hear this. I don't know what that lady, she been on here so long, and people be and forever telling people, we need to put on the whole armor. How you gonna tell flesh to put on the whole armor? They need to be trying to find out where they at. Are they born of the spirit, or are they born of the serpent? They need to find out where they at in Yah. Is Yah in them? Instead of you just telling everybody put on the whole armor. How could you dare do that? How could you even tell people that? As if it's something you can just go in your closet, pull out and put on. Oh, let me put my hat. Let me put the whole armor on. Then if somebody had any sense, they would question her, well, what is the whole armor? She wouldn't have sense enough to answer. For so many years, she tells them, put on the whole armor. And they don't have the sense enough to understand what the whole armor is. First of all, it's Yah. It's him himself. Now watch this here. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So it's telling you right there that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Do y'all understand what that means? If you sitting here not wrestling with the flesh and blood, well, what are you wrestling with? And why is there a war? Let me see if that's what it's saying. Verse 12. For we wrestle not. Why are we killing each other? Why are we angry with each other? Why is it about black and white? Why is all this stuff happening if we're not wrestling with each other? Wait a minute. Hold up, y'all. That don't sound too bright. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. But against principality, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world. You see why the world got us in control? Because the wars is in the spirit realm and we fighting each other in the flesh. And the Father said, see, Deborah, they sit and read and study and talk about this book is me, and they ain't even read it themselves to understand it even in their own flesh in which they believe. Because if you're not wrestling with the flesh, what is greater is there to be wrestling with? And how is it so many things? Okay, say, have y'all ever thought, how is they doing so many wrong and evil things and they're getting away with it? How is people killing each other and all these stealing and the rich is robbing the poor and taking money from everybody? How are they doing it and how are they getting away with it? Because it's in the spirit, y'all. They're winning it through the spirit realm. And the evil is winning. But it's only winning what Yah is allowing it to get victory in. Because in the process of them winning it in the spirit, at least they think they winning it in the spirit. But they forgot who's on the front line. I don't even think they forgot. I think they just taking advantage of everything the Most High is allowing them to do. Because it first has to be a battle in the spirit before it becomes a battle in the flesh. That's how they got away with it, you guys. And people walking around here like it's okay to go around killing your mama, your daddy, and killing your women and your children, your women killing their children, and all this stuff that's going on. And it's just not murder. To me, that's just like one of the highest. But like he said, one is no different than the other. If they're all doing wrong, how could you call this one wrong and that right? When right cannot be found, righteous cannot be found in the flesh. It has to be found in the spirit. So, listen to what it said in verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is how they getting away with it, baby. They doing it in the spirit. They're doing it in the spirit realm. Everything they doing, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about it. Now that I'm saying it right now, I get it. A lot of things people try to figure out, how did they control us in this country? And a lot of people seems to think by darkness. That's still in the spirit realm. They said they practicing and they doing all kind of wicked and evil in darkness. That's how they gaining the power. And they are. It's in the spirit. That's how they have conquered this whole country. That's how they became who they are. And that's why he's going to knock them off and then take it from there. Because they have gotten so much victory outside of all the other countries. United States have gotten so much victory through the darkness. But the darkness ain't going to cease. It's just that United Snakes got a lot of victory in darkness on the earth. Why? Because the battle in the spirit has spilled over on the earth, and the earth is rejecting the spiritual battle. So this way they whoop your tail. They can hang as many men as they want on a tree and get away with it. How many sex trafficking? They missing more than what, 20, no, more than 20,000 children that came through the border. Gone. Nobody said nothing. Tell me it ain't no principality in high places going on. What else did he say? Principality against principality against powers, against rulers and darkness of this world. So what does it say? Now, world. What part of that you don't get? World. What part of that you don't get? They're in this world in spirit. That's how they're winning. And the flesh support its wrongdoing. You know Trump ain't no good. You know Kamala and Biden them ain't no good. You know they ain't never been no good. And I'm not just talking about Negroes feeling that way. I'm talking about Europeans. Everybody seeing the wickedness out of everybody, and everybody walking around calling it good. So what is reminded? It's letting those who are of the light know that the war is not fought in the flesh. The flesh is okay in it. The flesh is what making wrong right. The flesh is what making darkness light. The flesh is doing that. And it says here, against spiritual wickedness in high places. One thing that's powerful, high places, power, rulers of darkness of this world. This world is the key. This world, the spiritual war is fought in this world. It's just spiritual. And it take on everything controlled in the flesh, in the natural. But how is it won? In me, I could never understand. If I worked a job, and let's say I made $23 an hour, how is it that before this taking that 1 hour, 23 hours, $23 for that 1 hour, before I can get that 1 hour for $23, by the time they take out of it, I done made $4. $4. I done made $4. Now, let me explain to you. I received this gift long time ago. That's the only, when it came down to mathematics and math, I got straight A's. That's what I was good at. Bring me numbers. I'll show you what. I sit here until I figure it out. Algebra and all that. I didn't take none of that up, but you bring it to me. I'm gonna work that thing. And I'm gonna get it right. So to say this, how is it that I can make 1 hour, $23, but when I bring that check home for $23, all it is $4. They have worked so much, what this here say, wicked in high places, rulers. I like that too, rulers, because that's showing you who Obama, Trump, and all of them are. They ruling y'all tail wicked. And nobody running around here talking about vote. It's gone, y'all. The mindsets of people are all the way gone. The way they think, the way they act, the way they conduct themselves, they don't have no sense of direction on anything righteous. So here I take this $4. When I went into work, I labored $23 for that hour. Now, this is what I say to people. When you finish talking about what all you have and what all you got, when you chop that mess down, you ain't got nothing but a kick in the rear end, and you happy about it because it appeared to you as if it's something. And that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing. That's a mind that has gotten so in tune with the rulers of darkness of this world, principalities, powers, and darkness and wickedness. You done got so detached to it, you make them right. And anybody say anything against it, you make them wrong. When I developed the understanding of the retirement and the Medicare and Social Security, your retirement, and I saw what they did. Guess what they did? They did the same thing they did every time you worked that 1 hour for $23. They decided, now watch this here. If you work 60 years, how is it if you work 40 years, if you work 30 years, if you work 50 years, how is it when you get the money that they've been taking out all these years, they still yet has to take out what they took out again out of what you're receiving? And this is why so many people are chasing more and more come retirement. And now it all makes sense to me. At first it didn't, because I work with elderly, 80 and 85 years. And why won't you retire? I can't, Miss Deborah. Why? You done worked 70 years. I don't have enough. It just didn't make sense. But it makes sense now. Because I had to step into it and see it for what it was. And me as an individual in the light, I seen that to be one of the powerful control theft that hits the face of the earth. That's why nobody wants to read Revelation 18, where he's sitting here telling you how I'm going to deal with them because of what they did as far as merchant, dealing with what people labor for. They took it from you, and you was always too ignorant to know it. Because the war was fought without the flesh, but it got victory in everything that the flesh has done. And the flesh still walking this stupid tail around talking about everything's been okay, everything is right. I'll understand. It don't matter what you understand. So what happened? When I saw that, I said, wait a minute. These people are taking for your health care. Wait a minute. What was the sense of you taking all that money, Medicare and Social Security and all that out? Why did you take it out all them years to turn around and pay me? I had to pay for it. How could that be? And in my mind, it made me realize that the people in this country is the fool of the whole world. I can see why he can bump this country off, because they are the dumbest. Because we sat back and parade this country to do all this wicked and darkness. And it says against principality and powers, against rulers and darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. They did it right before the flesh. And the flesh is so sick. It's all for what is unrighteous. That's why they did it in the spirit. Because this is a country that's sick. They can't see no wrong. They can't see that Donald Trump and Biden and Kamala, these are wicked people at the highest. And we sitting here trying to war for them. They trying to start a racial war. They trying to start black against white. They trying to get the migrants to be partaker in what's about to happen. And y'all send y'all stupid tails around. Okay. And I'm talking to the world, not talking to the light. Just telling the darkness. That's how dark you is. You were. You're going to be. Then come up. Watch this here. Every penny everything you got invested, everything you own, if you accept Medicare, they gonna cut automatically. It's like a sign. Okay, I'm gonna say that example. You know how, I don't know if y'all heard about it when you got the birth certificate and the social security card, how when your parents signed it, it signed you over and they got millions under your name. That's real, y'all. I already did the search. I did it. I got on there. I pulled my name up out of the bank. Yes. Yes. And I paid only 3 bills I paid from it. Because once they realized I was connected, they shut me off. I went telling everybody because I had got those bills paid. I went telling everybody, you better get your million, you better get your million, because I thought it would help everybody else. But they were shutting it down because people had found out about it. They were shutting that money down. Yes, so I know about it. It's the same identical thing with this Medicare and Medicaid. Not this Medicaid, it's Medicare and Social Security, your retirement. It's a scam to take from you. And then they'll turn and give somebody who ain't never had a job, who ain't never labored. They can turn around through disability and get more than you that worked for 60 and 70 years. How? Because they turn around and give them Medicaid and give them their full check as if they worked and they never worked. They worked 10 years for 10 years, and here they is 70 or 50 or 60, and they get more than you getting, and you worked. Why? Because when they coming for you, they coming for your Medicare, and they raising it up higher and higher. They know that, hey, then this is what they did, y'all. They turned around, and the moment you sign that Medicare, guess what? You're locked in for everything you own. People don't even know that. They have no idea. But I don't see no problem with it, with people who greedy. People that's greedy and got a hardened heart, it matches them. That's what they get. But that's what they do. They didn't even want me to speak on behalf of my ex-husband. But I was shooting into him, letting them know I'm gonna be on every corner you try to get on, or you try to come in. I'm gonna be there. He won a lawsuit and he sat and settled for $2,000. Did you know their attorney still have not paid it because she's working with Medicare to find a loophole? Why? Because he didn't sign his name on Medicare for his Social Security. He's not signed under that. Why? Because he still works and he has his own insurance through his job. So she insists on doing the search. So when the judge asked her what was going on, she said, by law, it is for us to protect. You can tell she's one of them Jews. We have to protect Medicare. And see, a lot of people don't even understand. It's a scam. You know how many places I've been? I've been to several estate sales trying to figure out why y'all selling y'all parents' stuff for pennies. Why y'all getting rid of it? Because we got to sell a house. Because we have to give Medicare, Social Security a cut. I said, why? Because our parents was on Medicare. You lying. And one man said, and my daddy was in the Army for 25 years. And we have to sell this house, and whatever we sell it for, we got to give it to them. Yes. And that's what the attorney was doing. Trying to figure out, is there a loophole to get him in trouble for not signing? That signing is like you signing yourself off. It really is, y'all. You just don't know it. So whatever money you get, people go to the boat, people win, whatever you get, your house, your business, your store, whatever you get ready to sell it. If you already signed Medicare, Social Security for Medicare, let me tell you, you owe them. They getting half a cut. That's how crooked this country is. That's why I say people just running around here playing in this natural life, thinking they got it made. You better get your tail over there where the spirit is at if you ain't there yet. And if you ain't, you need to stay right where you at. Because behind that, this here, what it's telling you in verse 12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's letting you know it's something greater than flesh and blood. but against principality and high, against powers, against rulers in darkness of the world. Darkness of the world. What does Sister Deborah constantly keep telling y'all? It's pitch dark out here. It's darker than dark. I can't get nobody to see that. I still can't get nobody to see it. Now watch this here. In high places. Now watch this here. Wherefore, verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yah. Now this is the problem I have. Here it says it twice. It calls it the whole armor of Yah. Now what does that mean? We as spiritual need to find out, Father Yah, what is that whole armor? Don't go out here and tell people when they're going through something and they're suffering and they having a hard time, put on the whole armor. No. You can't tell people that. Because the whole armor ain't gonna be there for them to put on if they of the world, if they born of the flesh, if they born of darkness, if they born of the serpent seed. You ain't gonna see no whole armor to put on. So stop telling people that. The whole armor is of Yah, is Yah himself. You know how I said to y'all, I put him on the front line. That's what that's containing. Putting him all up where he need to be. That's the whole armor. I ain't got no whole armor. He got it. So let me put him up to the front line. He got all the armor. What fool and told y'all that y'all got the armor? What fool and told you that the battle is yours? The part of the battle that's yours is your spirit that's battling in the spirit realm to make you your destiny for its spirit to the lake of hell. So if you cutting up from the floor up in that flesh, know that the lake of hell is your eternal destiny. Now, listen to what it says in verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to withstand in the day of the evil day. Now, you know what evil day that is? It's what you in today. This is really what you in today. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, but people don't believe that it's evil. Everybody thinking this is a good time because they think they got things their way. They think because they have this, they got this, they got this. Oh, I'm living it, baby. You know, you don't even understand. Your spirit is on the outs, on in the back ward. And it's most likely it could be warred with the spirits of Yah, which most likely that's what the war is about. It knows that everything is spiritual. It knows that you got a spirit, I got a spirit, everybody got a spirit, and that's what's warred. Outside of people who think life is only built on flesh. No, life is not built on flesh. It's built on spirit. Because before there was flesh, there was spirit. So then it says here, in the evil, look at that word, day. You see that D-A-Y? That's not like days that we have. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No. That ain't the type of day. He's trying to tell you we in the midnight hour. That's why that day don't have an S. It's telling you in the midnight hour. And having done all what? The whole armor. Having done all, stand. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. What you mean? Hold on, Father Yah. Stand. Oh, I'm going to stand. Stand your tail still and know that I am. And that's the purpose of why I said to you all, which I knew you all don't understand, why I say I put him on the front line where he belongs. And that's in my living and in my life that he has. Father, you on the front line. Ain't nobody going to put you in a black box, in a rabbit hole, in no darkness. As long as I know that you're in front. And this is when he started pouring out all these things to me. That's the armor, you guys. When you can put him where he belongs. He is the whole armor. You ain't crap, but a bunch of flesh. Verse 14. Stand it says, and then he said in verse 13, he said, when it's all have been done, having done all, stand. So what am I going to put on something and then stand? Because it's in the spirit realm. He got it. That's why your tail's standing. You can't fight nothing. It can only be defeated in the spirit. That's why he says stand. 14. Stand therefore. There he goes saying it again. Having the learn geared before with truth. Who is truth? Yah. Having all on the breastplate of righteousness. Didn't I tell you he had 4 brands? Righteous is the number 1. So how is that you? You can put that on when you want. How can the flesh get up and put all this stuff on? You can't. It's telling you to have a spiritual mind in any situation you in any situation you get in or you're going through. Put on all of who he is. He'll bag that thing up and he'll land that thing down. That's who he is. So he just said, you put it all on. That means put all of me on. And if you don't know who all I am, you better meet me somewhere so you can learn. And he says here, the breastplate of righteousness. Now, how can you go in your closet and get the breastplate of righteousness? Breastplate of righteousness. How you go to your closet and get that? How you gonna have geared your line geared about with truth? Where's the truth? What about the breastplate of righteousness? Where is it at? It's in the closet. What color is it? You better put that bad boy on now, then, if that's the case, because you're going to need it. If you don't have it, the whole armor of the spiritual Yah, since you claiming that you can just go put it on. We need to put on the whole armor. Sit your tail down. Teach these people what the whole armor is. It's not something you say. It's something you feel. Because you know he got it. So you can feel that thing. He got this. And your feet stone, what is it? Stood with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Now, how you gonna go to the closet and get the gospel of peace out the closet? How you gonna go in your closet and get that out? And y'all might think Sister Debbie is crazy, but guess what? Keep living. You'll hear people teaching this thing. Like you can just go in the closet, anything go on in your life, go ahead and put the whole armor on. Sit your tail down. You need to give him what's due him. And that's praise and honor, glory and exaltation. Exalt him for being the whole armor. And then it says above all, and it says preparation of the gospel of peace. That's your foot. So how is you the gospel of peace? You see why it's a war going on behind the scene? And he was sitting here trying to tell you that in Ephesians. Y'all playing stupid if you think the war is on in this world. It's an unseen one. And it's in the spiritual realm. Even your situation on your job, in your community, in your neighborhood, husband and wife and husband. You see these men battling with these women battle. It's a war behind all that. And we sit here thinking it's about male and female. No, it's about the war that's behind that is just battle. Now watch this. Verse 16. Above all, take the shield of faith. Faith is the substance of things unseen, but yet believe. Who tell you to go in your closet and you can pull up faith? Faith is Yah himself. You can't pull that up. That alone is a gift of Yah. So what's this deal you telling all these people to pull on the whole armor? You can't tell people just to pull up on the whole armor. Do they know that what? Okay, you put your stupid tail out there and put on the full armor and see you get your tail whooped. How about that? How about that? Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fire darts of the wicked. Faith, shield. No. Taking the shield of faith. That's the shield of faith. Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fire darkness of wickedness. Now, if he said the war is not flesh and blood, what are the fiery darts of the wickedness? It's spiritual, y'all. We're trying to defeat a war in the flesh when it's greater than the flesh. It's spiritual. Let's give an example. If I had an issue with a cousin and I realized that her and I are on a different level, and it seems as if it's nothing I can say, or it's nothing I can do. No, it's nothing I can really say nor do to make her and I level. When y'all sit and say me, he would say something to somebody like me. Didn't I tell you come to bring the sword? Get your tail on the side you need to be. You don't need to be over there no way. The sword of who Yah is divides, like he did in Genesis 3:15. I come to bring a division between the serpent seed and the spiritual seed. So many of you all trying to get the serpent seed to be your friend, to be your family member, to be your neighbors, to be your husband, your wife, your children. You're trying to get the serpent seed to be all that and some to you, and you don't even see the war. It's not what's in front of you. It's what's in back of you that's stirring them up. And you cannot win that. You cannot defeat that. Pull away. Let it go. And keep it going. You see? So this is really food for the spirit, strictly for the spirit. Now watch this. Now it says in verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the spirit, which is the word of God. Wait a minute, now. This book is the word. Try killing somebody with it. This book is the word. What did this say? Listen to what it says in 17. And take the helmet of salvation. You know the helmet of salvation is a protector. So therefore, it's spiritual, y'all. If you don't have the helmet of salvation, that's why you're out here killing, stealing, destroying, sex trafficking. We have a lot of Judah people all in that sex trafficking and partaker in it without a heart to think, I'm doing these babies like this, they'll never see their parents again. I don't care. Okay, so here it is. And then it says, and the sword of the spirit. That's the one Yeshua came with. I'm bringing the sword to bring division between mama and daughter, father and son. That's how powerful the sword is. What you doing here? What you doing here, Father? I remember. Hold on. What you trying to do? You bringing that sword? That's the same sword Yeshua said back when in Matthew's, in Luke, and John, and Mark. They were talking about that sword that was coming to bring division. It was bringing what I told him he was going to bring, Deborah, in Genesis 3:15. I'm going to separate the serpent seed from the spiritual seed. That's all I'm doing. This is a battle in the spirit, baby. This ain't a battle in the flesh. Okay? So then he says, and which, the spirit, which is the word of Yah. Take your tail out here and thinking that you're going to fight somebody with this here book. You can quote it from back to front, front to back. Watch they blow your head off. Try using it as your sword. Try using it and you see what happens. Since you want to lie and say it's the word. Because you got to say it's the word. Why? Because that's the flesh. But the war is in the spirit where the true word is. See, the words in which this book has is for the flesh. Now, okay, let me give y'all a little something. I'm gonna just give y'all what he's telling me. He said, Deborah, you know how many times that you talk about how many different denominations, how many different religions, how many different interpretations, how many different beliefs? Thousands, maybe millions. They're coming from the same book. Same book. So how can this be the word? You have to know the word in the spirit and not in the book. That's why you got so many different denominations. They understanding it in the flesh. So many different religions. They basing it on the flesh. So many interpretations. In the flesh. Understanding. In the flesh. That ain't where the war is at. We fight not against flesh and blood. So while we fighting and arguing, denomination and religion, come on in the back where the real war is at. How about that? How about that? And you'll know what's what and who's who. Step in that realm in the spirit of who Yah is, and you're going to know things much, much, much better. Okay, so here it goes here, and in verse 18. So I like this here in 17 because it goes back to the word of Yah. That's Yah. Stop making Yah a book. He is the word. Verse 18, praying always with all prayers and supplication in the spirit. 99.9. They want to pray to be seen even by themselves. Well, I got to pray every morning. I got to pray every night. I get on my knees and I pray and I say this and I say that. I say this, I say that, and I say this and I say that. You pray to yourself in the flesh. And you've been doing for quite a long time. What did this tell you to pray? In the spirit. Because if you pray in the spirit, your flesh ain't going to be able to understand nothing you say. Because it's between spirit and spirit. So it says here, verse 18, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit. How many of y'all do that? Name one of you. Because you don't understand. This ain't a spirit. This ain't a flesh sign. I don't waste my time trying to do a tradition. Or I got to do it this way. I got to do it this way. I got to do this. I know who he is. He know my thoughts before I even think. I want good thoughts of who he is, how great and how excellent he is. And then what happened then when I start putting him where he belongs, guess what? I'm now speaking to him in the spirit, and my flesh don't know a cock and pick and find or what I'm saying. You know why? I'm speaking to him in the spirit. And he's speaking to me in the spirit. And that's exactly what he said here and said. He says here in verse 18, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit. How many of you do that? Oh, no, you keeping the tradition. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord, the soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray for that you take. What about the other one? Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That prayer wasn't nothing but for those that were in the spirit. That prayer is for those that's in the body of Hamashiach, spiritual people. That prayer ain't for the world. And that's what who how would I say it? Use it as a tradition, the world. We have to learn to step out of this fleshly way and learn the battle in the spirit, because guess what? It'll help you know how to deal with everybody. It really would. It would help you a great deal, because now you'll understand things and understand why things are the way that it is. So therefore, it helps you in the spirit to understand why the things are the way that they are in the flesh. It's because people don't understand where the true battle is. So what did he say? Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit. Okay, not in the flesh where you can hear yourself and hear yourself. Oh, I'm gonna say my prayers. I'm gonna say Father this, Father that. You finish? Your flesh finished clowning? When you want to talk to Yah, go head to head, toe to toe. How about that? How about that? Have you ever tried that? Try it sometime. Okay, and this says, and watching therefore with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. See, Another thing, that's another thing that I think is kind of, don't say sad, Deborah. Don't say sad. It's all well. You see how he said for all saints, standing in the gap for everybody, standing in the gap for many. In the flesh, nobody gives a rap behind who you are. But in the spirit realm, you have to stand in the gap for others. That's the servants of Yah. Those are the true servants. It's not about them. It's about giving the people what they need regarding the spiritual mission and purpose that Yah has blessed or put in you. He blessed you with it so that you can use it to serve the saints. For who? Him, because you his servant. You see, that's how it goes. And you notice it says supplication for all saints. Now, saints, we know is a word they put in there because that's a Roman Catholic power punch. St. John, St. Matthew, St. Andre, that's the Catholic Church, the Catholic's power punch, saints. But we want to say in the body of AHAYAH. That's what he said. In the body of AHAYAH. In verse 19. And for me that utterance, I think that's how you say it, may be given unto me. Given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. See, you all don't believe y'all servants is out here to teach you the mystery of the gospel. They ain't got time to teach you patty cake, bake a man with you in your flesh. They teaches you the mystery. And notice verse 20, for which I am an ambassador in the bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. That's Sister Deborah all over again. That's why it don't bother me the way I say things and how I say things. What's powerful to me is that I get the point across what Yah is saying. That's what's important to me. And it's going to always be important to me, because if this creator dealt with me since I was 4 and I'm 64 right now, anything that wasn't right in me, he would have been removed, because he knows already that where he has me is where he wants me. So I like to offer anyone, if they have any questions or maybe any answers to anything, or if they had a question or two, we got a few minutes. But trust in the Most High Yah at all times, and know he is spiritual. He's not rumbling in this flesh stuff that's on this earth. And don't put him into all this fleshly stuff, y'all. Don't include him in all this worldly stuff. Yes, that is good. Very good. When you stand in truth and in righteous, there are times when you can literally feel the world around you routing. You know what? That's true. That's true. I'm going to tell you how it works with me. When I'm outside my zone, my home zone, and I get out into the world, I can feel that. So I know that is to be true. That is so 100. And even the people and how they stare and they look. See, to me, it's almost like they didn't seen a ghost, but they have a smile on their face. This is what I'm experiencing. I don't know if any of you all are experiencing this, but this is how I experience. But guess what else about me? I can walk into any place and I can feel the darkness. And I can identify what it is. Right. They couldn't have no clue about the armor when they are in the flesh. Exactly. There's nothing spiritual about what they're doing. Facts. Yeah. You need those sunglasses in that movie. They live about. Let me explain something else to you all. A couple of people is tagging in on this European guy that the Hebrew Israelite men, a group, has allowed them to come in to interview them. And this is what bothers me. It bothers me a great deal because our Negro men in the Hebrew Israelite movement, they started this level of hate. And the Father says that they're going to be measured and judged by that. They're going to see all the things that they started. They're going to pay the consequences. Because a lot of you all didn't know that there is a trend that was going on, and it's going on now too, where the hate for Black women is so great among the Black men. Now, don't no, now if you're hating your Black women so bad, you got to feel the, how would I call it, the backfire. There got to be some backfire. You can't just hate them and think they're not supposed to hate you back, okay? Because they're going to. Why? Because you the seed of them. They came out of you. See, they don't want to teach and preach things right. They don't want to tell these Negro men nothing. But the sad part about it is what they're doing is they don't understand that what they're doing is who they are in their spirit. It's a battle in their spirit that's doing these things. And it's floating in their flesh, and their flesh is loving it with no consequences or no conscious. But the reason why there's no conscious is because the spiritual battle that's heading it. It's just like a lot of them in the Hebrew Israelite talk about the Illuminatis and these big elites who rule in the world. Same thing. They ruling it by spirit, y'all. They not ruling it. They ruling it by spirit, and the spirit is overflowed. The ways of that spirit is overflowing in their flesh, and that's how they're able to conquer the United States the way that it has conquered. And it's not just the United States, but all over the world. They conquering. And they've been doing it for ever since it's been existing. But you got to find out, well, who are these people? And like a lot of people say, you mean a handful of people are running the United States? Yes. It's the power in the spirit realm that we still have no idea that's going on, because we haven't searched ourselves to really know spirit and truth. Because to really know spirit and truth, that's still coming from a spiritual level. Right. They're acting out the way they are. They're acting out in their flesh the way that they are in their spirit. Why? Why did they do that? Because their spirit is already predestined. Their spirit ain't coming down here to play with us, to make us happy. It's coming down to be the part of the serpent seed. And it's done a well job. A well job, I would say. And that's what it's here. It has done exactly what it's here to do. And that's why he was letting us know, y'all, this thing is deep. It's a war of the spirit. Even Paul said, when I try to do right, wait a minute, something wrong right here. See, and it's what is happening amongst the people. They don't care about none of that now, because we're in that day. See, we in that day. We in that day. It is finished. And what the finish is actually saying is those who don't understand it ain't going to understand it. It's over. This is a spiritual battle, whether you like it or not. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Just like I just explained it to you with Adam and Eve. That's a long time. To where we are at in year 2024, still playing around with this thing like it ain't nothing. And that it's all well and ain't nothing wrong with it. Oh, well, No. It's over. It's finished. No crooked gonna be made straight. No straight gonna be made crooked. Why? Because heaven's finished. We didn't done this thing. Everything is now is just walking itself exactly according to his namesake and his will. So if it's his will and his namesake, he had to have done everything in the spirit. We just walking it out. And that's why I try to explain to you, so you can be able to know who you are in this day and time. You can even measure your own heart. See, what heart do you have? Do you have darkness or do you have the light? Do you have evil or do you have righteous? You should be able to measure that. But That's if you've been following Deborah for some time, you should be able to know who you are. And if you don't, I feel sad for you. I really do. Because if he said it's finished, he mean it's finished. He ain't come down here and play patty cake, baker, man. Who are you standing for, me or the man? He ain't finna rumble with you in that way. So if I don't have any more questions, I will say I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in this evening. And I hope you got something out of it. And you can follow up on, I was telling you about, let me give you that one. The powerful thing that bothers me a lot about the men of Judah is when white people around them, I mean, they eat them up. Yes, sir. I mean, it's just the way they, here this young man, couldn't have been no more than 30 something years. He comes into the Hebrew Israelite camp, this one group, and they sit here proudly telling this European that we are niggers and that we don't like Martin Luther King, we don't like Malcolm X. They sell out. I'm just listening to them. The reason why I was listening to them because several other men was doing a video showing how sick they are. I've come to tell y'all, it's the name of that European. His name is Tommy G. Inside a hate group, the Black Israelite. Now listen to this. After he had interviewed them and found out all their information, why would you post this here on your YouTube? Inside the word hate group. So all the KKK, the Black supremacists, the system of this country can all target those men you just interviewed. And you turned around and did the video and put inside a hate group. If they known you was going to label them as hate, they wouldn't have let you interview them. But you see the low of how Hebrew Israelite men are. They are the low of the law. Now you can go out here killing your women and your children, your mom and your daddy and your brothering like it ain't nothing. But this European coming amongst y'all to do a whole interview with y'all and y'all kissed his tail. And when he left, he made a video, he posted y'all on nationwide YouTube as a hate group. You know what that's messing with? The FBI, the white supremacists, the KKK, America's system itself. They can come in and lock up that group and never let one out. When he said that they were going to bring hate, I mean, I hate a war, a nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and they're going to hate you. You don't understand what your own tribe is going to do that cause everything to go upside down in hate. It's going to be hated at a level that is off the chain. You ain't going to be able to save your daughter. You ain't going to be able to save your son. You ain't going to save your husband. You ain't going to save your wife. You ain't going to save your grandkids, your pawpaw, your uncle, your grandparents. You ain't going to be able to save mama. You ain't going to be able to save daddy. When these Negroes finish in the Hebrew Israelite movement, smearing us as a people, all we gonna be labeled as what we always been labeled as. But y'all said, no, Deborah, you better tell them right. And I'm gonna tell y'all, the way they treat us then and the way they're going to treat us because of the prophecy, the hate is gonna be greater. And your own people also you can blame, especially your men. Men won't work with men and tell them don't do that. Why would this European go? His name Tommy G. Go and listen to it. Why would he go in and interview them and then come back and title it Inside a Hate Group? And they were spilling hate, y'all. They were spilling hate. And now one of you all really understood it was all in your name. It's all in your name. So if you're running around here and not understanding that the war is spiritual, so if it's that way in the natural where you can see this and you can hear this, just imagine what the battle is in the spirit. And that's what I started to say about how our men can hate everything in their own nation, but they will lick the feet of every European and let them do any and everything to them. And then they run out and kill their family and their nation, their mama, their daddy, their brothers. It's just amazing to me. It's just amazing. And this is where y'all say one ain't no different than the other. So Sister Deborah, said again, I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I will be back. I wish I could swing this to my other page, but I cannot. It was live. So Sister Deborah says, I'm not going to the other page. I just might put a video or two in a way of directing my subscribers to this page. But I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in this evening, and you all have a wonderful evening. Shalom and shalom.